What's going on, everyone? Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media, coming at you with another episode of Pat's Daily, brought to you by our good friends at Prize Picks and Game Time. As we try to learn more and more about the players the Patriots drafted, I'm trying to make sure I can get the deepest insight I can, especially with some people who actually have experience working with some of these players. So to get some insight into JaLynn Polk, the Patriots' second-round pick, and Javon Baker, the Patriots' second, fourth-round pick, I am joined by wide receiver specialist Steph Brown, who had 12 players drafted to the NFL, 20 total in the NFL, training those guys along with your brother, TJ Brown. So thankful for you making the time, brother. How you doing, and how does it feel knowing so many of your guys' hard work has finally paid off?
Man, I'm blessed. First of all, I appreciate you for having me, too. Like you said, it's a blessing. A lot of credit to my brother TJ, our company, Top Shelf Performance. A lot of credit to Tony Villani and Matt Gates down in XPE, down in Florida. That's where we met a lot of the guys. Some of the guys, they've been with us for a long time, but a lot of the guys that we met them through pre-draft training, we got 2-3 months to work with them and, get them through the, All-Star games, Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine, Combine. So we built relationships with a lot of the guys. So it was just a blessing to be a part of.
When it comes to JaLynn and Javon, how long have you guys actually been working with each of those guys? And also, how did you end up actually connecting?
Well, Javon, we've been with Javon since high school. Me and my brother TJ. My brother TJ coached him with C1N with Cam Newton 707, and then after that he started locking in with training when he was in about 8th going to 9th grade, and we've been with him all the way through. And then JaLynn, he played for my receiver coach Jamarcus Shepard. He's at Alabama now, so I knew a lot about him. I know his trainer real well, Diamond Del Fonte, but JaLynn just decided to train down in XP in Fort Lauderdale, so we kind of ran into him like this year, like 2024, and then we started working with him a little bit in the pre-draft process. I feel like with Javon, they getting a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the people he feel like he got a chip on his shoulder. He one of them type people, like he works hard every day. Like he understands, like there's some things that was out of his control with a lot of things with the draft, but he just started putting himself in a better position to understand, like, and it was a blessing because everybody keeps talking about, like, him and Javon, like JaLynn and Javon, but Jaheim Bell also trained with us at HB too. So we had 3 guys, like in the same, they were around each other every day, getting better, handling their business, doing what they needed to do. And it was just one of them things, like, I think with Javon is like, I think the thing what people don't understand about him, like, he doesn't really talk much. So, like, the fact that he's talking, like, somebody in trouble. Okay. Like, he don't talk. Like, he literally, like, Javon is not he's not an arrogant, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when he said what he said, it wasn't being arrogant. It was just like, no, like, I'm letting you know, like, what it is with me. Javon worked out, like, right after the draft, he came to the school I work at. I'm at Langston Hughes High School in Atlanta. That was the video when he was walking on the field, like, he was up here at the school. He's working out with me the next day. Like, TJ was out of town working with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he told me, he was like, man, Javon back in that high school mode. He back in that mode, you know what I'm saying? Like, Javon used to work out night before games. He used to work out day of games in high school. Like, people don't even know that. Like, it's stuff we could post on social media, him, people wouldn't believe it. Like, he was doing things that an average high school kid wasn't doing at the time. Like, he was really putting a lot of work in, like, dog mentality. Like, he'll have a camp to go to on the weekend. He'll work out the whole week, do what he needed to do, handle his business, be right back at it on Monday. He used to train 7 days a week. We used to make him, like, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, he put the, like, people, it's a trip, like, sometimes people forget, like, he went to the University of Alabama. Like, you don't go to Bama, like, just to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go to Bama, like, just doing what we need to do. You got to handle your business. You know what I'm saying? He was a 4-star recruit. That's what people don't, that's why I be like, y'all really forgetting, like, who this man is, like, what he done did, like, his line of work. Like, me and my brother TJ, we talk about it all the time.
And it's funny because watching his tape, not even just as a receiver, but also as a blocker, you see there's plays where he'll sprint down the field to either celebrate or try to throw a block. Like,
no, he gets it. Like, he loves the game. Like, he's not one of them people, like, you don't have to ask him to give his all. Like, he's gonna give you his all every time he's on the field. Like, and I think that's an attestament to the way he works, like the way he was raised, like his just mentality. Like, he understands, like, he doesn't like DBs. Like, he just doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Not saying, like, he doesn't like DBs on his team. He's just like, if you line up in front of me, you trying to stop me from doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's the case that's with him. And, like, he understands too, like, I gotta work. You know what I'm saying? I never seen a time where he didn't put the work in to get where he's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really works. Like, he cares about his craft. Like, he was down at XPE. training for his 40 and everything like that. He ran faster than what people thought. He wanted to run a little bit faster, but what people don't understand, like Javon was working on his 40 at 6, 7 in the morning. He was doing receiver work at 11, 12 in the hot sun in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was mental. Him and Polk, they would always put extra work in. Everybody be done, they'd go back in and catch jugs. They'd go back in and get on the board. They'd go back, just doing little things like. And JaLynn would be right there with them. So it's like, I think the Patriots got a 3-headed monster with them guys for sure.
I agree, man. And I know with Polk and Baker, I can attest to that, catching jugs after practice. They did it at Patriots practice.
No, that's just routine. That's routine for them. That's just what they do. Like they're gonna always find ways to get themselves better. Like they don't care about what he doing or what she doing or what he do. They care about putting things in perspective and understanding what's going on and like getting each other better. Like just understand like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I put enough work in today. I'm gonna make sure I did what I need to do today. Like, did I get 100 catches on the jug? Did I stay in the film room? Like, did I go over the, like the new plays? Like, they care about it because they understand they're rookies, but they also understand I got to work like a vet to get the respect to be a vet. You know what I'm saying?
And that it comes through. It's already coming through. You see it, the dedication, all that stuff. That's what makes me think they're really going to be special players. I'm excited to see what they can do when they get on the field. But I'm curious, from the time you started working with these guys, we'll throw Jaheim Bell in the mix for all these as well.
Right.
How have they grown from the time you started working with them to where they are right now? Obviously, still not listening.
I think with Jaheim, he was more so like around TJ a lot more. So I just saw, I met him like a little bit more this year, like JaLynn. But I just see like the dog in them. Like just JaLynn and Jaheim, like they both got dog in them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they could be out doing whatever, like they could be handling their business, like putting in extra work, and they'll still go want to go work and do something else. Like that's a special trait to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like that's an testament and credit to Coach Mayo for seeing that. I think he really just saw like, okay, I see the film, I see the big plays, like I see like they play their premier programs, but I also see like they got dog in them. You guys got dog in them. Like, you can't coach that. With Javon, it's just like, I do whatever you need me to do. I play special teams, I block, I catch, I do, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need me to be a 1, 2, 3, whatever, I do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think they all three of them have that mentality from my perspective. My brother may have, a different perspective of how he feels about them, but I just feel like all three of them, they got dogs, man. Like, and one thing about dogs, you can't tame them. You got to just let them be who they are.
That's a difference maker, man. They always say talent sets the floor, but then your commitment, your character, and all that stuff, that's what sets the ceiling. And with all these guys, it was so quick. You're like, there's something different about this group. And I'm excited to see what they end up putting on the field. Now, when it comes to, these are still young guys. Everybody's got area for improvement, and you really get to see that up close and try to really get all the talent and hone that. So for each of those guys, how would you say they still need to improve as they enter the pros and start really honing in on their craft?
The thing with them is just learning how to be a pro. You know what I'm saying? Understanding dressing for the job you want to dress for, like, having a certain type of etiquette when you're in the building. And I think that's just going to come from being around vets. Like, I think with us, like, when they come home, they're going to put the work in, but just focusing on the small things, like catching the ball the right way, you know what I'm saying? Like, doing things right, working on your routes, top of route, staying in shape, you know what I'm saying? Being able to do your conditioning test with no problem. Your nutrition, hydration, you know what I'm saying? Like, just doing things the right way, like finding the routine. I think, like, your rookie year is your longest year because you get done with pre-draft, you get done with your season, you get done with, like the interview at the combine, like all-star games, like it's a long, then you got to play a full season. And, you really don't get a break until after the offseason, but it's just like biggest thing we've been on them about is just finding a routine. Like, they work for you. Find you a gym that you like to go to. I already know you're going to, like with JaLynn, like, he'll be with Diamond, like Javon will be with us, like Jaheim, like, he's from Valdosta, so it's like, okay, where am I going to be in the offseason? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I going to be with TJ? You know what I'm saying? Or am I going to go back down to Florida and get them down there? Just figuring out what you want to do. Like, I think it's just scheduling and putting everything in perspective and understanding, like, I got to find what worked for me. Like, what worked for you may not work for him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing, like, just learning their new schedules, like, learning their new, like, time frame. It's not like college no more. So it's like, you got a little bit more freedom now. Ain't no class. Like, I know what you know what I'm saying? Know my plays. Like, know what I need to do. Then when I get done, now I got to go do stuff in the community. Now I got to go do stuff to give back. Like, I got to find me somewhere to live. Like, so it's a lot, like, just being a rookie. And
that's where you help veterans like Kendrick Bourne and KJ Osborne, who are such good leaders in that capacity, kind of help them and guide them in the right path a little bit. Now, when it comes
they understand it. They got to lean on them type of guys for guidance, too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Get in on the playoff action and win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks, as you and the world's best players take the game to a new level during basketball's postseason. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with basketball and hockey entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. I personally love Prize Picks because they're super easy to use, easy to navigate, and they offer injury insurance, so your entries stay live even if one of your players gets injured. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. Download the app today and use the code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And when it comes to roles for these guys, when you're just looking at the skill sets, if you're trying to make it simple, it seems like Javon's probably an X. JaLynn's more of a Z, especially just you want him, I feel like, involved in run plays as much as possible. And then it seems like Jaheim is more like your H-back, fullback type, but they've all got versatility. So how do you see their roles working out?
I mean, it's pretty much kind of like you said. Javon more like your traditional X, but he could also move around and play some Z. He's got the body build to be able to get like jet sweeps and handoffs and stuff like that. JaLynn can do everything. He's do everything. So he could be an X if you need him to be a Z. If that's the case, like Jaheim, he's real. He played receiver first before he moved to tight end. He could split out wide. He could be in the flex. He could line up in the backfield. He could line up wherever. You could put him in the backfield. Probably give him, give him some handoffs. Like I think it's like it's no limit to what Coach Mayo can do with these guys. Like it's just all about them coming in and being able to learn what they, learn the system first to be able to show that versatility because. It's all about what you show. Like, if you can't come in and pick the system up, it's like we can't use you the way you may feel like you want to be used. You just got to learn, like, how we do things here, like what the standard is, playing to the best of your ability, and understand I got to come in every day with with my work hat on. You know what I mean?
And kind of speaking to that same point, it seemed like JaLynn and Javon were really more downfield threats in their offenses, which, that's just the way that their schemes worked out. They were very vertical passing attacks. Right. But now in this Alex Van Pelt offense, this West Coast system, there's so much emphasis on the quick game and timing and all that. How do you see them adjusting to that style of offense where there's going to be a lot more short passing game and you got to be on the same pages? Probably Jacoby Brissett and Drake May, depending on how that situation works out.
Well, that's a good question, actually. And I thought about it right when you asked, because in reality, when you look at these three guys, when you look at Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, and Jaheim Bell, all of them transferred schools. Jaheim was at South Carolina, went to Florida State. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they come back down. Jalen was at Texas Tech. Went to Washington. Javon was at Bama and went to UCF. So it's like they played in multiple systems. Like they understand, okay, I have to adjust to this to be able to thrive. Like Javon really, like his career wasn't on the up and up at Bama. Like Jalen's career wasn't on the up and up at Texas Tech. They found a way to get in the role at their new school. Jaheim the same way. He switched positions. We found a way to implement ourselves in the offense that's going on to be able to show my versatility. So I think them playing, them being vertical threats, whatever, like, now coaches got common sense. Like we done seen these guys like do stuff on film. We were gonna switch some things around to get them the ball, but at the same time, they have to, like I said, they have to learn our system, like learn what we do first. If you can grasp this, now we move on to the different stuff,
It's funny you mention that because when you talk about going to different teams, you usually think about that with the NFL and free agents where it's like I've been in all these systems. But now with all the transfer portal and everything, that is interesting that the young players also have some experience a lot of the time kind of picking.
And I think like guys like GMs and stuff, they look at that because like you more of a safety valve because if you transfer and play to multiple systems and thrive, that means it's not hard for you to grasp systems. You know what I mean?
Great point. Especially in the Washington offense, it's a very pro-style kind of system. Probably help with the transition a little bit. At the end of the day, it's just different languages and picking up different concepts.
I mean, it's all football, but it's just like the way you spit it out, the way you learn it, the way you give it back, and the way you retain it. Like it's just all about being able to find that grasp of like what can I do to help the team. You know what I mean?
100%. Now, kind of wrap this show up with looking at some AFC East receivers that joined the division outside of the Patriots. You got Keon Coleman now with the Bills. You got Malik Washington with the Dolphins, and they really reloaded on offense in both of those spots. A lot of new receivers. What can Patriots fans expect when they play the Bills and play Keon Coleman or where they play the Dolphins and end up going against Malik Washington?
So by Keon, I don't personally know Keon.
Okay.
He trains with I know he trains my big brother Daryl Robertson out in Dallas. I know he's with him a lot. Keon's a great talent. I really feel like he's a freak. He's a former basketball player, big play type guy. I think, as you can see from like the interviews, he got a big personality. So I think like him coming in the NFL, I think it won't be, it's hard to say you can replace somebody like Diggs. That's hard to say. So I don't want to put that type of pressure on him. But I think he'll be a real good addition for them. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll, put the work in with Josh Allen and do what he needs to do to be successful. Just handle his business. And I think he went to a program like Florida State where they're it prepared him for the NFL, prepared him for the spotlight, prepared him for stardom. So I think, I hope and pray he has a healthy and safe season, but I think he brings a lot of big playability and a lot of explosiveness. And, I think with his game, it's it translates to the league. It translates to the league. And I think you don't go in as an organization to get a guy that high if you don't believe in him. Mm-hmm. So, and then when Malik trains with us, he been I would say professionally, I haven't met a kid that involved. You know what I'm saying? Caring about his weight, caring about, doing things the right way, nutrition, going to things, being on time. I think the Dolphins got a steal. You got Waddle and you got Tyreek, and from what Malik told me and just hearing, talking to his agent, stuff like that, McDaniels had been trying to take him a couple rounds before, because he saw as a fit. I told Malik, I'm the best situation that you could have ever fell in your life, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Wes Welker as your coach. What more you want? You know what I'm saying? What more you want? That's a blessing in itself. And we put the work in. I had the opportunity to run Malik's pro day and put his script together. Prepared him for the East-West Shrine game. He was the MVP out there of the game. He's one of the best route runners at the combine. He had the highest vert at the combine, smallest guy there. It's an testament to the work. And I think, you find them gems in the 5th and 6th round. They end up being guys. So, the goal for him, make the 53. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you need to do, special teams, whatever. Don't ever limit yourself. You know what I mean? We always talk about we call Malik the landlord. We call the landlord rent due every day. You know what I'm saying? That's a saying that we use. So it's it's never free out here. When the rent's due, it's time to pay up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the mentality he takes with every day. He comes from a great home. You know what I'm saying? He's raised the right way, and you got to look at just the universities he went to. A graduate of Northwestern in 3 years and a graduate of the master's program at UVA in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? He's a 4.0 guy. He understands it. He gets it. It matters to him. Getting better every day. Sometimes we have to tell him to slow down. You don't need to work out so much. So, I think they got a real steal with him. Just, Waddle had some injuries last year. Tyreek was a little banged up. So, I think Malik will be able to step in and help out right now.
Even though it's division rivals, it's going to be really hard to root against these guys, man.
No doubt.
With the NBA playoffs in full swing and the Celtics looking like the best team in the East, I'm trying to go to a game so I can witness their greatness in person. And to get those tickets, I'm going to be using Game Time, an authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, which makes getting playoff tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the tip-off. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets. Buying tickets on Game Time is extremely easy. All you have to do is click on the team that you want to see, browse through the available options, then click on those games. Then you can go through filters like price, where you want your seat to be, all that good stuff. Click, get a panoramic view of the seat that you're going to buy, and it can be as easy as a one-click purchase for your ticket. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Also, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but do you have any thoughts on Malachi, Corley, and Taj Washington, a couple other guys that joined the division?
Yeah, for sure. Love Taj game. He played at USC. He came from Memphis. I got some ties with Taj. I don't train him. I got some ties with him with Calvin Austin. I trained him. I did his pro day. So I've been on Taj for a long time. I always tell him, man, I'm proud of you. You turned around, went for 1,000 this year. They kind of doubted you. So him and Malik, they're going to push each other every day. And, Malachi, he went to my school. Malachi, he went to WKU. We both went to West Kentucky. He got 17. I wore 17 at WKU, so I told him, I was like, man, you got to make him believe now. You know what I'm saying? Believe with the 17. So Malachi game it correlates to the NFL. It's like the thing about him that's unique is like he still knows his things he needs to work on, like to keep getting better, so to keep getting better, like to be the complete receiver that he wants to be. But it's like he doesn't shy away from that. Like he knows it. Like he says it all the time. Like, but he has a great trainer, you know what I'm saying? Like that's got him right, like got him where he needs to be, like got him built up. He put the work in. I remember being on staff. We recruited him at WKU when I was coaching there. They moved him to running back and never wavered him. Like he was just like, I'm just work. They moved him back to receiver. Like 2-3 years later, he's all-time leading receiver. So it's like his body of work it speaks for itself. They call him the Yak King. I think that'll carry over into the NFL. You with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers seems to love him. Like he's a work first mentality type of guy. Like that's an attestament to his parents and his training and stuff like that. So he's a straightforward guy. Like he cares. And I think the biggest thing like about caring is like he's originally from Florida. He moved to Kentucky, so he had been in Kentucky for a long time. So him just being able to see like a city like New York, I know that'll be a big deal to him too. And I know he'll have a lot of marketing, like marketing opportunities out there and stuff like that too. Just being in that city, but I'm happy for him. He went through a lot. He went through a lot at WKU, and people put question marks on his route running and all that type of stuff. But when you're a football player and you can do things with the ball in your hand, like that kind of takes away from it. So it's like I tell them, I'm like, just keep crafting on the things that they say you can't do and keep crafting on the things that you feel like you want to do better. You know what I'm saying? So we talk a lot and like I just keep them encouraged. Like I saw him at the Senior Bowl, like. They just tell him, like, I'm proud of you. You're a hilltopper, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I root for them before anybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Malachi doesn't train with me or anything like that, like, but it's just like, it's good to support him, you know what I'm saying? Support him and see where he's at in life and just being happy for him. And, he's one of the highest draft picks in school history, so that's something to be proud about.
Coach, fantastic insights. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much. Close out the show. Please let the people know where they can find you if they want to learn more, maybe if they even want to get some tutelage from you in the future.
Oh yeah, my Instagram is my main page is Coach Brown _MDN, and my training page is Top Chef _Steph. My YouTube is also Coach Steph Brown. Twitter handle as well, Coach Brown _MDN or Top Chef _Steph. And like if y'all need anything, just let me know. Like I said, my man, I appreciate you bringing me on and caring about my opinion, man. I ain't got a real big opinion about stuff, but it matters to somebody out there, I guess.
Oh, man, I learned a lot, and I know the audience learned a lot. So once again, thank you so much for your insights. We'll be in touch. And thank you all so much for watching. Now take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time. Peace, y'all.
Thank you.